all, welcome. Today I'm coming to you from Gurgaon. It's nice when things are open, we can do these face-to-face interviews. And my guest is the co-founder of Mobikwik, Bipin. Thank you so much for inviting us here and letting us do this shoot just before and around New Year's. I thought I would be welcoming you, on our stock market opening show, but that didn't happen. Can I begin by asking you what happened with the IPO?
Well, nothing really. I mean, I think, we've been, as you know, Mobikwik started off as a bootstrap company and we got to 1 million users before it raised first round of funding. And since then, of course, we've raised a lot of capital and we've progressed to become one of the largest wallet companies and the leading buy now, pay later company with more than 23 million customers. So our business is doing extremely well and IPO is a matter of timing. So we'll list at the right time.
But like you didn't do the DRHP file kar liya, road shows kar liya, but there must be a reason.
And we received approval.
Yeah, and you got the approval.
We got the approval, which is valid for a year. What's the hurry?
So, there were some reports that maybe the anchor investors, or was it the Paytm? I'm going to be very honest and ask, was it also because there was, a lot of startups said we want to list before Paytm, and then we did have a Paytm debacle. There's now froth in the IPO market for certain counters. It's not there for Map My India and all.
No, I think, I would not like to specifically comment on any specific company which did the IPO. I do think that we have a certain strategy in mind and our business is doing extremely well. And we have a clear path to profitability, unlike a lot of other companies. And so we'll go to the market at the right time with the right business metrics.
So are you going to change the business metrics before the IPO?
No, so see what happened is that when we were going in November, when the initial plan was to go around November, the numbers were valid till June. And I think what happens is that you have a 135-day period, and post which the numbers expire. So we have currently taken a call that we'll complete this quarter at least, and then we'll assess when is the right time.
So basically you want to end the third quarter of the financial year and then figure out if and when to go to the last rate, or the when is decided?
There is no such when. I mean, I wish I could predict what is the right time. I do think we have a very high degree of confidence that because we have a 1-year window and the business is doing extremely well, both on the payment side as well as on buy now, pay later. So it will be sooner than later.
Now, the money that you wanted to raise from the IPO and use it for what? How will you get that capital?
So look, I mean, we've been operating with profitable unit economics for the longest period of time. We are probably one of the few, if not the only fintech, who doesn't lose money on a contribution level. And so, of course, COVID was a year where there was a hit, but since then the business has been doing extremely well. And so
COVID would have got you tailwinds?
COVID got tailwinds, but it also had, from a buy now, pay later and a credit point of view, definitely had, there was a 6-month, 9-month kind of a moratorium period. But since then, the business has grown more than 22x. So our business is doing extremely well. We are not in a dire need of capital right now.
And your investors, they're not pressing the exit button?
Not really. I mean, all our investors, actually, most of them were not even selling.
Correct. It was primarily a primary issue.
It was mostly a primary issue of more than $200 million because everybody believes that the company, where it stands today, it can grow substantially and become not just a large company, but also it's on its path to profitability. So there is no hurry.
What is your road to profitability?
Well, I mean, we see the business, the way it works simply is both in payments and in the credit and the buy now, pay later business. Our economics is double-digit percentage which we make as contribution. And so it's only about the fixed cost and the people and the office that you see, the cost that we have to cover. But of course, we keep investing in the growth because at the end of the day, the opportunity of buy now, pay later and payments in India is really very vast. So there is more than 250 million people who are digitally transacting and don't have credit. So for us, it's not critical to pump out profits, but at the same time, the call that we have taken is we are not going to build a company based on extreme cash burn. We're building a company where economics are profitable, contribution is profitable, and at an EBITDA level, get there sooner than later.
So Bipin, how do you compete then by not raising the kind of capital? I've always wanted to ask you this. The kind of capital that we see others with, whether it's a Paytm, whether it's a phone pay, whether it's even Zest Money or a Razor Pay. How do you do it?
Well, we have
and I know
raised,
you all are in different fields, but
yes.
I'm putting it together now.
See, we have raised money from very high quality investors like Sequoia, Bajaj Finance, Abu Dhabi Investment Authority recently. We took a call several years ago that we are going to build a different kind of company, a company with profitable economics. I don't think we believe that the market is ending anytime soon. So it's a next 5-year, 10-year game. The right companies will have a balance of growth and profitability. Raising too much cash forces you to grow irrationally in the short term, which pushes out.
It also lets you acquire customers.
So that's the beautiful thing, right? Because of the legacy of the wallet business that we created over 10 years, we have more than 100 million customers, 108 million customers already sitting there, and more than 3 million merchants. So we did the hard work long time ago, and we've been continuing to do it. So we don't need that kind of capital in order to, spend out on, let's say, an IPL ad or, getting really high-flying brand ambassadors, because the customers are already there, the transactions are already there. It's all about putting the right structure in terms of buy now, pay later, and generating more profits from the same customer.
I'm going to get to buy now, pay later in just a bit, but coming to the wallet part, where you have said very often that you have a first mover advantage, you manage to retain the customers, and this, that, and the other. What kind of durability does wallet have, given the explosion that we are seeing in UPI? I understand, that you've got some tailwinds with interoperability now being allowed, but wallet, will it survive?
Look, I think the question itself, the framing itself, I find it a little incorrect, and I'll tell you why. See, when customers download an app, they are looking to make payments, right? They don't think about wallet and UPI. So in that sense, until about 2017-18, our business was a lot about pay now, which means that you have money in your account or you have a card and you just want to make a payment. Whether you want to pay through UPI, UPay came in obviously post that, or through a wallet, you load money in a card and then you make a payment. But since then we realized for this piece to actually work long term, we also need a second strong factor for the customers, which is where pay later comes into picture. So we don't think of the wallet business as a standalone business anymore. We actually think for the customers, it's now pay now plus pay later. Any app which offers you both the functionalities, and Mobikwik being probably one of the only apps which offers you a seamless pay now plus pay later functionality where you can use the money from your account.
That.
I would imagine that the number of customers that we have onboarded on buy now pay later and the number of pre-approved customers, which is more than 23 million, easily puts us in the top spot in terms of having the customers already there, their data is being there, their KYC is there, and these are strong structural advantages that you can't, build overnight.
Bajaj Finance, which is part of your cap table, is actually the original player in buy now, pay later. It's not just me who's saying it. A lot of people are now appreciating it, whether it's Mr. Sanjeev Bajaj himself or even Bernstein has come out with a report later. How does that help?
So I'll tell you, I believe buy now, pay later is more about payments than about credit, because for a lot of customers, it's their first introduction to payments plus using credit and getting access to a small credit line, which they can use it for 15, 30 days. So in that sense, our product is more similar to a credit card.
Okay.
Than, let's say, an installment loan.
You're the new age credit card, is that what you're saying?
It is like a credit card. I'm not allowed to say we are a credit card, but we are basically offering a credit card like service to millions of people.
It's not plastic, it's digital.
It's not plastic, plus it's digital, plus it's being made available to people who historically have no access to credit. Imagine 250 million people today who are paying through UPI or some other mechanism. Most of them don't have credit card because only 35 to 40 million people in India have a credit card. So there is a massive opportunity over the next 5 to 10 years where these people can get the convenience of making payments now, not having the multi-factor authentication, using the money that we provide, making all your everyday payments, and then clearing your bill one time, like, paying your Zomato bill, paying your electricity bill, paying for your grocery, and then accumulating all those and clearing out the bill from your bank account one time. That convenience is really unparalleled. That is what we are providing. And in that sense, I believe it's very different from what a Bajaj Finance or any other loan company provides, which are more around financing.
But how do you protect yourself in the sense you want to also give this buy now, pay later, pay now, pay later, whatever you want to call it, this particular service and feature to those who have never accessed it? So they have no CIBIL score probably. You don't know if they're going to return your money.
Well, that's the part where data comes into picture. So since more than 3 years, we have invested a lot in data science. We built up an in-house team. We built out in-house models where we are able to understand the customer far better based on the kind of data that we have on them, based on their transactions.
What would be your checklist? If it's a first-time person who's taking this credit, what would be so unique about it?
See, we have a very simple strategy which is called low and grow. And what that means is if you are somebody who's never had access to credit, which is what a large percentage of Mobikwik's customer and a large percentage of customers on internet in India today have, then we start with a small limit and we see
what would be the limit?
The limit could be as small as 1,000 rupees or 2,000 rupees.
So you build your credit
and
score.
Then based on that, you just do some basic utility payments. Maybe you order food once in a while from a Zomato or a Swiggy, right? Or you just buy a train ticket. So start with this small value payments, see the repayment behavior.
So you're building your own CIBIL-like score?
Well, I mean, we believe that obviously credit bureaus are important, but credit bureaus today, the kind of data that they have does not capture the kind of behavior that we are seeing in digital world, the kind of digital footprint that is being created by people shopping online, people paying bills online. And that's what we have. And we are building sort of a credit score or a risk score called Mobiscore, which is our proprietary score, on top of the kind of behavior that we see.
And do you share this with other players, this score?
This is currently a proprietary score, which we use for our own underwriting and to understand the customer.
Do you share with Bajaj Finance?
No, we currently don't share it with anybody.
So you don't even tell your investor that I won't dunga.
We currently don't share it with anybody.
Okay.
Right?
I can make out you might have to. Now, Bipin, I have to ask you this one question. There's something about Mobikwik. Bolna padega. You're very resilient. You keep pivoting, whether it was wallet, then during the lockdown it became the crypto payments. You keep figuring it out, buy now, pay later. How does that happen? And were you ever an acquisition target? Was that one of the reasons for the IPO?
Yeah, we've seen like news reports coming several times. People are talking for acquisition, etc. Honestly, I haven't talked to anybody ever.
But have they been? I mean, they
talk
to bankers,
I don't think so. No, I don't think so. I think we've always wanted to be an independent company, which is why we took the call coming out of COVID, right? During one of the toughest times that we saw as a company and as a group, and of course as a country, that it is the right time for us. We have high conviction in the model that we are building, which is a combination of payments and buy now pay later, and go public, right? I mean, if that is not the sense of conviction that we have, then I don't know what else it is.
And you caused quite a stir in 2020 when you talked about Atmanirbhar, the quality of investors. Do you still hold on to all of that? No, I mean now Chinese money is not possible.
Look, I do think that long term, of course, foreign capital is necessary in a country like India, which is capital starved, and that it helps create new models. It helps in the growth of lot of technology-based startups. But at the same time, I do hope that the next generation of startups that are being built, at least the promoters, there is domestic capital, and also there is hopefully less dilution, right? In Mobikwik today, I and Upasna, we together hold more than 35% of the company. It's actually unparalleled. We are being classified as promoters, right? When we are going to get listed, which none of the tech startups so far that I am aware of are getting listed, which means we have skin in the game, right? Not just for the IPO, but also for the next 10 years. In fact, we are not even selling any shares. So I do believe that there is an opportunity to build, more companies like that, where we build for the long term, and take the capital, what is necessary, but not be in a hurry.
Don't be in a hurry. Take it. Be a lambe race ka ghoda, as they say.
Yeah, be in a lambe. I mean, India's story is just starting. So I mean, see, we've started more than 10 years ago, before there were smartphones. So we've seen quite a bit of evolution of how the market has evolved, and today is the best time of any time to start a company in India. And when you start, like, you have these 500 million people with smartphones, you have 250 million people who are paying digitally. There is this vast opportunity for credit. So fintech, really, I mean, at least in fintech, and of course in other areas, I do believe that Right now, people can build companies, they can hold on to their ownership stakes for a little bit longer and not be in a hurry to just raise a lot of money
Your
spend
name
it all
also,
out.
because of the IPO time, it featured in the list of unicorns and it was removed. What is the status? You tell us.
Well, I don't actually
You may not track it, but you'll know
I
your
don't track it, so I
valuation,
don't have a
you'll know your
comment.
valuation.
No, the last primary round that we raised was from Abu Dhabi Investment Authority. That I think is a public knowledge. That was raised at a 700 million pre-money. We raised about $20 million in June. Post that, I think there's been fair bit of secondary transactions here and there. Some people buying, some people selling. So I actually don't have any more information than that because these are private transactions.
What's your New Year resolution?
My New Year resolution is to actually get healthier and play more soccer and apply the same principles to Mobikwik, make Mobikwik also more fitter and stronger.
Chalo, with that we wish you all the very best. Thanks a lot, Bipin, for your time.
Thank you.